Hello, welcome to the Phreak Show. Bumpy McSquigums here. I want to thank you all for joining me as I continue with Bumpy Blathering. It's my bi-weekly vlog series. I'm going to try to adhere to the 2-week thing. So once every 2 weeks, we're going to do a vlog. It's going to be an update of either what's going on in my real life, stuff that I just want to talk about, things on the channel, whatever the case is. I also noticed in the recording that when I move my hands, there's like a weird trail that follows it. It's kind of weird and very distracting when I'm watching the video. So if you guys want to be distracted and mesmerized by my magical powers, just watch my flailing hands. It's going to be good. Anyhow, I do have 1,000,002 things. The 2 is key. 1,000,002 things I'm going to be talking about. And I have my list of just stuff. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's going to be... I want to say it's unscripted because it is. I don't actually have a script. But this is like my 7th or 8th or 9th. I don't remember anymore. I've tried doing this video multiple times. And I had a really good take. Had absolutely no audio for my microphone. It was fantastic. I hate the webcam microphone combination. It sucks. Just saying. So, let's begin. Alright, so we're looking at our new focus. If you guys have been around the channel for any length of time, over the last 2 months I've been much more focused, putting out stuff like Elix twice a day-ish. It's like an episode and a half or 2 episodes every day, something like that, somewhere in that range. Okay, along with Sword Coast Legends, I am trying to actually finish up some series. Now, I'll explain all this to you guys in a few different ways here. I'll explain why I started doing what I'm doing here on YouTube, which gives some credence or lets you understand why I've been doing things the way I've been doing on the channel. 2 schools of thoughts from multiple people that have talked to me over the course of me being here on YouTube, and their thoughts and stuff that frustrates them or things that they like, and why I'm making a change, and we'll see how this goes. So, first things first, we'll talk about the 2 schools of thoughts. So, one school of thought, and I have been listening, folks, I have been listening. A lot of people are very frustrated that I'll do 1 or 2 episodes of something, or even get halfway through a series and then it just stops, and then I get busy with other things and I never return to the series. Essentially, I don't finish most of what I start. I know that's frustrating to a lot of people. It's frustrating to me as well. There's reasons for this. I'll get to that after we get done with the schools of thought first. And like I said, I hear you guys. I understand. I would love to finish every single game that I start, and I'm going to start making moves toward finishing more series, or at least giving you guys closure. And again, I'll explain all this stuff as we go along here. The other school of thought is they love that I do cover so many games, such a wide array or wide variety of games, because there's a lot of stuff that people had never heard of, things that they never considered playing. They heard of it and they're like, oh, what is that? That doesn't appeal to me. And then they see the gameplay and they're like, wow, that's amazing. I really like that. And since I do cover so many things, they really like watching the first couple episodes of whatever it is, and then they decide whether or not they want to get the game and play it themselves. So 2 completely opposite schools of thought, and I understand that a lot of people from the first school of thought will go, well, you know, I watch something, if it looks interesting, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Then I go and I find somebody else to watch it on because you don't finish what you do. That sucks. It hurts me, but I understand. Like, I get it. I get it. So, like I said, I'm now refocusing and I'm trying to finish a lot of the series that I've started. I have a huge, huge backlog. I'm guaranteeing you I'm not going to finish all of them, but I am going to go back and try to finish a lot of what I've done before. I'm hoping that a lot of newer games that come out aren't as intriguing, enticing as they have been over the course of the last year. There's been a lot of cool games that I really wanted to play. I got my hands on it. And that's why we're in the mess that we're in now as far as unfinished series. So I'm refocusing, and I'm going to get that handled, hopefully. And I have ways that I'm going to do that. Now, I want to tell you guys why I originally started doing stuff on YouTube. I guess the original motivation behind it is different, or I'll explain that too. But the goals that I had and why I do this has always been the same. My first goal has always been to get games, share them with people, and hopefully, whether it's because I'm terrible at the game and they can do better and it frustrates them to see me play it, which I get it, trust me. I've watched YouTube videos too, I understand. Whether they like my gameplay and they're like, wow, that looks like a lot of fun, I want to play it, or they like my personality or whatever, and they're like, oh, he really likes the game, this might be a good game, I'll check it out. You know, whatever the case is, it's to bring people, get people's eyes on the product, on whatever game it is. So I find a game I like or a game that's sent to me, I'm like, oh, this is cool, this is fun. I love sharing that with you guys. because I hope that it entices you and makes you want to get the game yourselves and play it. And then we have something in common. We both play this game. We like it. We hate it. There's things that we do like, things that we don't like, things we never thought of, things I missed, things you've missed. It's good. I like that. That's always been kind of my number one objective. Get eyes on a game and get people wanting to play that game. My number two objective, which is a close number two, it's close, but was always to be entertaining to people. Do what I do, entertain people, be funny, whatever the case is, whether I'm crazy, funny, not funny, strategic, good, bad, whatever the case is, be entertaining. That's the plan, the goal, the hope, the dream. And then originally this wasn't even on the table because I didn't think much would come out of it, but it was like a very distant third, but it's now moving up to a more important, or at least a closer third, and that is to make it be successful and actually make a feasible amount of money after putting all this time, energy, and effort into YouTube and make a career out of this, I guess. So yeah, that's kind of been my motivation and why I do what I do. The original reasoning for doing this was I was unable to work. I was going through the immigration process here in Canada, and really I was bored. I played games anyway. I figured, why not bring people along for the ride? If they want to hang out and do stuff, I mean, that's great. If they want to watch and chat and all that, that's fantastic. And it's grown over the years, and it's good. I really truly do love what I do. This is great. I can get frustrated at times. It can be trying at times as well, but overall and easily, without a question, I do love this. So, where are we going? What are we doing? So, as I told you guys, I'm going to be focusing a lot more on finishing series. So, hopefully that makes a lot of people happy. I can't make everyone happy. I know that. I'm going to try to do, I don't know if you'd say a compromise, but I'm going to reposition what I do and how I do it. So, the number one focus is I'm going to try to start finishing series. So like you see right now, Elix, Sword Coast Legends, I'm putting out a lot of episodes of those, and I'm hoping that we'll get through those and we'll be able to move on to others. I still am going to keep a lot of other games going throughout the week, but I don't want it to go where it's like 3 weeks and get one episode. I want to try to keep like 1 or 2 episodes a week for whatever it is I'm covering. There may be some differences, but that's the plan. Additionally, new games that are coming that I'm not particularly like, oh my gosh, that's the most amazing thing. I want to play it beginning to end. Let's do it now. I say that things that I'm not planning on getting, I'm going to try to relegate those specifically to first look videos. So you guys know whether it's a first look video, a one-off video, or a 1 to 3 episode miniseries. I was going to say 1 to 3 part miniseries. Anyway, 1 to 3 episode miniseries, or 1 to 5, or whatever the case is. And that's it. That's all I do the coverage of. That way you guys have closure on what it is I'm covering. So if it's a new series I'm starting, hopefully I'll be able to get all the way to the end of that. Now, there may be chances or times or things where I'll start a new series and I'll just get wrecked and I can't finish the game. And we'll have closure. Either way, my goal is closure toward the end. I'm going to be going back through, seeing which series that I want to continue, which ones I don't. The ones that I'm not going to continue, I will post a final episode of those, and I will let you guys know, I'm sorry, I've got as far as I could. It's not feasible, or whatever the reasoning is. I'm just not going to continue this series. But I want to let you guys know so you're not waiting and waiting and waiting for more. But I am going to be going back to a lot of the older series, and I will be playing through those and finishing them. Stuff like Lords of Shulama, Tales of Berseria, Children of Zodiarcs, Everspace, and the Ys series I just recently finished up, Ys 2, which was like my 3rd or 5th playlist ever. So, I do have plans to go back. It's 2 years ago I started Sword Coast Legends. I'm almost done with it now. That's a little embarrassing. And Lords of Shulama is even worse. But I am refocusing and trying to get some stuff finished. And like I said, closure, that's going to be the key term. Whether if it's a first look video, it's going to be a one-off. You guys will know that. If it's going to be a mini-series, I'll do whatever appropriate number of episodes for the mini-series. If it's a new series, plan for it, hopefully at some point to be finished. If it's not going to be finished and I'm just going to move on to something else, I will post an episode saying that. In fact, it's a little bit of a spoiler alert here, but we're moving on in Total War Warhammer 2. We're abandoning the campaign we started because they did this big patch update. Also, I'm doing terrible in that, and we're going to abandon that playthrough, and we're starting a new one. We've already recorded a few episodes. So the final episode of our Total War Warhammer 2 Let's Play is going to change that whole little sequence of the Skaven into a first look. and then we're going to play the big grand campaign as the next one. So again, closure, closure, closure. Okay, that's done. I'm hoping the recording's working. I'm hoping we have audio. I'm hoping. My third take was fantastic, by the way. All subsequent takes and the first 2 takes, not so good. So I'm hoping this one's okay. Now, right now, Sword Coast Legends, we're getting close to finishing that. Elix, we're not close to finishing, but we're playing that. Those are our 2 primary focuses. Now, I know Battle Chasers Night War has fallen off over the last couple weeks. It's going to be returning. I'm going to try to do it every other day. I'm also going to be trying to do Monday through Friday. So that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 5 episodes. I'm going to be trying to do the Patreon Patron Pick series, the Triple P series, and make that a staple. Every weekday, you can expect an episode of that. That's going to be the plan, the goal, the hope, the dream moving forward. I am going to have to tweak how I'm doing recordings and stuff a little bit here and there. And I may miss a day or two. That's why I don't like telling people my schedule. But this is like a rough draft with room for finagling, if you will. I'm really in the mood to play some classic RPG games, story-driven RPG games like Sword Coast Legends, while people will argue that that's not so much. But stuff like the original Baldur's Gate 2, Neverwinter Nights, Icewind Dale, all those types of games, not those particular ones, but games like those, I'm really wanting to play and I'm wanting to get back to and just enjoy. For whatever reason, I have that in my head, and that's going to be like a primary focus for now, at least. That's why I'm finishing up Sword Coast Legends. The next one up is going to be Pillars of Eternity. I've just recently bought the 2 expansions, White March Part 1 and 2, and I'm going to be starting, as voted on by the Patreon patrons, as voted on by them, I'm going to be restarting from scratch as opposed to trying to continue from where I left off. So it's been a long time. I'm looking forward to playing that, and I really can't wait. I'm very amped up and excited to do that. On top of that, you'll look for stuff like Tyranny and Torment, Tides of Numenera, and things of that nature. Additionally, there have been, and there will always be, a few games that come out of nowhere that I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was releasing. Yes, I really, 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 really want to play that. And that is Lost Dimension, which was going to be a first look, but I decided to try it first. I love the game. It's great. I want to play it. So it's become a series. Now, I'm trying not to do that as much as I used to. So you'll have to forgive me if I have to wean myself off of that. And likewise, the .hack GU Last Recode series is the same way. Now, games I'm looking to finish after, say, Sword Coast Legends, maybe Battle Chasers Night War, or if I can get extra time to do stuff, would be things like Tales of Berseria, definitely on my list to finish, Lords of Shulima, which is probably going to happen after Sword Coast Legends, before Pillars of Eternity. Expeditions Viking, I really want to get back to that one. That one frustrated me that I had to stop playing it. On top of that, Children of Zodiacs, Regalia of Men and Monarchs, Everspace, the E series, these are all things that I'm still wanting to play, and you may see an occasional episode sprinkled in. Like I said, I want to try to make sure I can do something every week if I am going to add extra episodes. So I'll probably be focused a bit more on, Lost Dimension, .hack, Age of Fear 3, The Legend, the Shining Force series, and of course, Heroes of Might and Magic, or HOM, if you will. I'm going to try to make sure I can get at least an every other day of those as well. So I still have a lot of content planned, a lot of stuff that I want to get done. I also want you guys to know that if there's a series that you are looking forward to, and by the way, since this is a vlog, the whole point is that I want interaction, feedback with you guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. I mean, any point that you want to talk about, anything you just want to mention, just go ahead, feedback, throw back and forth with me. We'll talk about it. It's going to be fine. But I want people to know that any series that they are particularly interested in, they want to see continue. I mean, you can mention that in the comment section. But I am promising that I will return to XCOM 2, was it War of the Chosen, and I will return to Battle Brothers, finishing up the series, series, whatever, that we're on, whether we die horribly and just lose, or, I don't know, we win? Who knows? Maybe that'll happen. But when I get back to Battle Brothers, I want it to be like an everyday thing. I don't want it to be like a once-a-week thing. I want to be able to play it every day so I can stay consistently at whatever level. I know the characters. I know what I'm doing all the time. The problem before was I had a couple big gaps, and then after I went on vacation, coming back, it was just like, no, I can't do this right now. And it just hasn't happened. But I do promise, and I know Battle Brothers is a big reason a lot of you guys are here, and I thank you for sticking around, and I thank you for the support and the growth from Battle Brothers. But I will 100% guaranteed continue with Battle Brothers. There'll be, hopefully the end of the season or series that we're on now, plus an additional one afterward. The next one will be a sign-up video and all that stuff. Now, don't get excited, too excited. I mean, you can get a little excited. Don't get too excited because that is going to be a ways off. So it might not even be this year. Well, it's definitely not going to be this year that the new season starts. But it should be sometime next year, but it might be late next year. I'm not positive. But just so you guys know, Battle Brothers is definitely a thing that we're going to continue to work on and continue to play and continue to enjoy. Now, something that we're going to try to phase out or get away from doing to a degree is some of the multiplayer and co-op stuff. I enjoy it a lot. It's fun for me because essentially I'm playing with friends, and that's always fun, and I'm getting to share it with you guys. I understand it's not the favorite thing that people, who watch want to see. There are people who really love the co-op stuff, but there's very few that really love that. Most people would prefer to see solo Let's Plays. Now, this is from a small sample size, but it seems to be the general consensus. But I'm not going to do away with all co-op stuff. It's just going to be less. Like right now, we have 5 things. We have Dark and Light, Hammerwatch, Total War, Warhammer 2, Divinity Original Sin 2, and Vermintide. That's 5. It's really hard for me to schedule people all the time. There's been weeks that would go by where we don't actually get to record anything. I am happy to announce that I'm done recording Hammerwatch, and my sanity is barely, but still intact, and I don't have to play that anymore with the Colonel and his awful badness and Def Splooch and his inattentiveness. Oh, my soul almost died. They almost broke me, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, that's almost over for the posting the episodes. We're done recording it. Additionally, Dark and Light's seen about as much as it's going to. We're going to maybe do 1 or 2 more episodes, and then we're going to put that to the side. Maybe we'll come back whenever they do like an update or a big patch or something. They add a bunch of stuff in there. Maybe we'll come back to it. But after all the coverage that we did on Ark Survival Evolved plus Scorched Earth, it's really more the same to a degree. I realize it's a different game, but it's very similar, and I think we're just all a little burned out on it. So we're going to take a step back, let them either do a few patches, and we'll come back in, see what improvements have been made, and so on and so forth. But we're going to keep it a lot lighter. We're not going to try to do that like 2 or 3 times a week. So maybe like every month or 2, we'll come back to it, and we'll see, oh, this is cool, this is new, this is different, stuff like that. So Dark and Light's going to be a lot less stressful and a lot less required, and like I said, it may just go away until release. I don't know exactly what we're doing with it, but either way, it's about run its course. So Hammerwatch is almost gone, and Dark and Light's almost gone. Once we finish up Vermintide, which is something that I always regretted not playing, that's why I made sure that that was the next thing that we were going to do. Once that is done and it's run its course, I'm going to try to sit back and not get anything else going until something like maybe Vermintide 2 comes out, or whatever the case is. I'm sure there'll always be something, but for now I'm just going to try to pull back and just tap the brakes on the whole co-op stuff. Now, Divinity Original Sin 2, technically, if I was just about any other YouTuber, or this was a solo series, still I wouldn't do it, but if this was a solo series and I was any other YouTuber, I would just be like, alright, it's not worth it. I'm pulling horribly low numbers. It's one of my lowest rated, lowest viewed series right now running is Divinity Original Sin 2 with Colonel RPG. I should just stop. It doesn't make any sense for me to continue. But, like I said, I want to finish stuff. That's what I'm going for. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to do. Same thing with Total War Warhammer 2. Not the highest rated things, but it's up there, and I want to finish it if I can. Okay, now that I'm not dead after coughing nearly to death, I've recovered. The tears have stopped flowing. It's good. We're going to talk about stuff that's weird, I guess. We're pulling the curtain back. I'm going to talk about some really good stuff. I'm going to talk about some really, 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 really bad stuff. Some more good stuff. And then some scary stuff. And then I'm not sure exactly how I plan to close it out, but we'll figure it out when we get there, won't we? It'll be great. I can't assure you that, but I can pretend. It might be great. Anyhow, good stuff. Milestones. Hit a whole bunch of milestones recently. Not the one that I was really looking forward to hitting, because we're still not there yet, and growth has been absolutely abysmal over the last 6 months, we'll say. But we're still climbing slowly, but we're climbing slowly to the top, so that's good. We're going to get over that hump. I was hoping by the time this video went out, I would have hit the 10K subscribers mark, and all the other milestones. I'm going to give you guys a few of them, and I'm going to save another big one for the end of this, and then you'll see. Anyway, that's the kind of the up and down stuff. It's fine. So what are the milestones? Well, before we hop in 100% into the milestones, I just wanted to say something about the 10K mark and hitting that and why it's important. Most YouTubers will be like, oh, subscribers, they don't matter, blah, blah, blah. And to a degree, if you're looking at it solely based on money, yes, it doesn't matter. But if you're looking at it on, hey, I want to play this game that this developer or this publisher is putting out, but my channel's tiny, they're obviously not going to want to send it to you. Once you hit 10K, 5 digits, whatever, that's going to help a lot. It's going to go a long way to being like, oh, okay, well, he's a legitimate thing. He's been around. He's got 10K subscribers or whatever the case is. 100K, of course, is the next step up and so on and so forth. And basically, you don't necessarily get like the pick of the litter, but you're more likely to get developers and publishers to send you titles that you request. So I'm hoping that once that happens, less doors will be closed to me. Now, granted, not a lot of doors are closed, but there are a few, and I'm hoping that they are opened once I hit the 10K mark. So that is a big goal of mine. I was hoping to hit it in April. We haven't done that yet. It sucks, but we're getting there. So, what goals did we hit? Well, I hit over 5 million views on the channel. Good, that's fantastic. I now have over 5,000 videos up on the YouTubes, which is good as well. And there was something else that was super amazing, and I don't remember what it is. It's not important. It is. It's actually my last point that I'm going to make later. So those are two big ones, and there's going to be another big one that's coming up, which is going to lead into... You'll see. Anyway, I like to foreshadow, if you guys hadn't guessed. It's fine. Numbers! We get to talk numbers. We get to peel the veneer back of YouTube and talk about the dirty little nasty numbers that, well, we are now slaves and subjects to. So... over the past year, maybe even a little bit longer than the past year, I've been above 165,000 views. Now, that's a lot to me. I think that's a lot, but to other people, obviously, it's not. But 165,000, not too bad, with an average around 175, maybe 180K. Now, that's been pretty consistent for about a year. And then in June 2017, so this year, June, we hit like, not an all-time high, but like the second or third best month I've had. The biggest month I had was when, what was it, Might and Magic Hero 7 released from Ubisoft, and I killed it. So that was my best month. This has been one of my second or third best months in June, 215K, which was up from like 189K or whatever it was. It's really good. And then the next month I'm like, yeah, we'll see how, we retain it. 203K. I'm like, maybe we can stay just above the 200K mark, and we've just taken that next step up. And I'm like, yeah, this is going to be great. Then August rolled around. August 2017. I didn't have a lot of content that I put up that month. I had a really hard time managing my time on YouTube and the job, the other work that I do. And my content was pretty sparse. It was really low, and it's definitely my fault. But yeah, the numbers dropped from 203K to 129K, the lowest it's been in over a year. And I was just like, now, I'm in a good headspace. My mind is fine. I'm emotionally okay. Like, this would have devastated me maybe 4 months ago. But at the time of this, I was like, oh boy, I done messed up. I need to fix that. So I did. I started to increase my content again. I didn't quite get to the levels I was before the new job, but I definitely got back up there. The content was coming and flowing again. It was doing well. And then the month of September 2017 came out, and I'm like, yeah, it's going to be worse than it was the last month. What? 116,000 views. That's not great. That's really not great. So, it's not good. So things not really recovering from my, lack of content. That's not good. I'm getting a little worried, but you know what? I'm just going to focus. I'm just going to do this. I got this. Don't worry about it. Positive, optimistic, we got this. October, last month, everything is going up again. We're all in the green numbers. We got more likes, more comments, more video, more money, which is nice. Everything moving in the right direction again. So maybe we've righted the ship. We're going in the right direction again. We've fixed our problem. I don't know. Still, the number 128K, definitely better than 116, and we're moving in the right direction, but it's still pretty low. So there you go, guys and gals. You get to see behind the veil, if you will. Now, as bad as the numbers were, I don't know whether the adpocalypse has disappeared on YouTube or if it's just this time of the year is when the ad revenue starts to increase a little bit because people are more willing to spend their ads and pay money out to get their ads played. near the holidays. So it could just be that. But the money actually didn't go down much on the first big dip, and then the next one it was actually more, and it's been going up, which is good. But again, the money is a pittance, and it's a small amount. It doesn't really matter much. I'm hoping that it will continue to grow with views and that, and you get the idea. You know. I'm not gonna dwell on that. So now back to something positive, other than that we're now up, going the right way again. November 2nd, that was my 4-year anniversary on YouTube. I've been doing this for 4 years. It's been fantastic. I love what I do. I'm more motivated than ever, I guess I could say. Like, this is really cool. Just the fact that nearly 10,000 people have gotten behind or followed or support me in some way, whether it's just watching videos or through Patreon or whatever the case is. It's a very humbling experience, something I never really thought I would actually get to. There's been times where it's been super depressing, and then times where it's been really, really, like, I've been on a high. But yeah, overall, I mean, just looking back over the last 4 years, it's been amazing to get to this point. Now, at 4 years, that being said, at 4 years, with 5,000 videos out and less than 10,000 subscribers, that's really horrible. That's less than 2 subscribers per video. So I'm clearly not doing something right. I'm hoping that my new direction is going to fix that. Finishing up more series is going to keep more people long term. And I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to try. I'm going to continue to do this. My wife is at the point now, and understandably so, where I am working, and she wants to know how long am I going to commit to this before we either say it's not worth it or it's not working and we just move on and do something else. That sucks. She wants it to be like a week or a month. I'm not ready to do that yet, but I'm going to give it to the 5th year, guys and gals. So basically November 2nd of next year is going to be my, I don't want to say my deadline, but kind of. That's going to be where we actually have to take a step back and assess it and see if it is still worth it. So as cool as 4 years have been, it's now put a clock on the YouTube. And that sucks. It does. But again, I've been very positive. I'm very optimistic. I think we can get the channel to where I want it to be, or at least in the direction that we're, like, even if it's not where I want it to be, we're moving at a good pace toward where I want it to be by the 5th year, then that's going to be fantastic. Now, again, I don't think 1 year is going to change it so much that just the ad revenue through YouTube is going to be enough. The views and all that is going to be enough that we have that much growth on the channel. If we do, that's going to be fantastic. But even if that's not the case, I know there's a lot of diehard fans, a lot of people who really like the stuff that I do, that watch everything I put out, whether it's really for them or not. And, you know, a lot of those people do support me through Patreon. I really think Patreon is going to be the thing that kind of carries us through and makes this worth our while. Now, I don't want to make every video that I do, every vlog about Patreon. I am going to do a separate Patreon video, and I've said that for a long time now, and I still haven't done it. But in reality, guys and gals, that does seem to be the way forward, especially for any of the smaller channels. So while growth might not hit where I want it to be, if we have enough hardcore fan base that are even giving, like, you know, if you think about it, it's very inspiring. It's also silly and there's a big wave of emotion, a big mix of emotions. But if you think about it, if you have, you know, say we had 10,000 people, if 20% of that gave like $1 a month through Patreon, I mean, it sounds like a really small amount, but that's 2,000 people. That's going to be enough money for me to do this, you know, full time and everything else. It seems like such a simple goal, but I understand a lot of people go on YouTube, they expect everything to be free and so on and so forth. I mean, I don't have the money to support anyone, so I'm definitely in that boat, but as it stands, I mean, $12 a year seems really small to really, you know, it does, everything makes a difference, guys and gals. It really does. And my wife's always constantly like, you should really go and push Patreon a lot and this and that. I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy that's always like, hey, you know, do this, Patreon, you know. It bothers me to have to even mention it, but it's a way people can support me. I really do appreciate it, and it helps more than you guys can possibly know. Because honestly, even $1 a month is probably more than if you watch every single video that I put out in a month with all the ads and everything else. Like, that's how little you get from YouTube. So when people do ask, they kind of need it, unless they're a massive channel with like 500,000 subscribers and they're getting like 5 million views. They don't need it as much. They still probably need it to a degree because there's more production value and everything. I'm getting off on a tangent. That wasn't the point of all this. I apologize, but yeah. Patreon is just like, it's a mystical thing that's got so much potential, and it's weird. It's a weird thing. Like I said, it can make or break a channel. I don't know. I'm not worried. I'm optimistic. I'm looking forward to this next year. I absolutely love what I do. Now, I know that I love what I do because when I went on vacation in Florida with Splooch and I got to see my family, I was there for 14 days. 14 days. You know how long that is? Anyway, 2-week vacation. I didn't do any recordings or anything with YouTube, and man, did I miss it. I had all the free time in the world to play whatever game I wanted, and it just didn't feel right just playing it by myself. There was nothing to really motivate me to keep moving forward through a game other than just wanting to play it. And it was boring. I really missed putting out the content and sharing it with you guys. So, yeah, I really love what I do. I want to keep doing it. So, moving forward and getting past this point and then back into Happy Land again, we have 1 year, essentially, to get the channel to where it needs to be, whether it's through Patreon, as I said, or just through like massive growth, whatever the case is, to where it's feasible for me to keep putting the hours and hours and hours I do every day, every week, every month into this. Or we're going to have to say, all right, this isn't a thing anymore. It's going to go not away, but it's going to be a hobby that you can do when you have extra time. And there's going to be, I'm going to have to get a full-time job, probably another part-time job on top of that, and really hammer down and actually start making a lot of money. And like I said, treat this more as a hobby when I have time. So, content will just plummet down to like maybe a couple videos a week. We have a year. I think we can do it. I'm feeling optimistic. I'm feeling happy. Now, I say all this, and I don't want you guys to think that I'm starting to take a step back. I'm trying to distance myself from YouTube, because that's not the case. I'm still going to be committing time, energy, effort, and money into this. I do have plans moving forward, stuff I want to do to improve upon what I do here now. So Windows 10 I'm getting for Christmas. It is a little sad that I do get a lot of my upgrades and things through my Christmas gifts and whatnot, or birthday gifts or whatever the case is. But I'm going to get Windows 10. That is going to help with a lot of the rendering and uploading, the editing and stuff like that, because the programs will work better with that. Everything's going to be a bit quicker as well. The way the room is laid out right now, this is my desk here. Behind you guys is where my wife's desk is across the room. And that is my old computer that I originally started back in, I don't know, maybe it was in December of, whenever I started, 4 years ago. So December of, what was that, 2013? That's her computer now. So what I want to do is, there's a TV over here to my side, and it's on a dresser and all that stuff. I'm going to basically move that further along in the room so it's closer to the bed. It's easier to watch TV. It cuts off the room a bit, but that will make this side of the room more my office. I want to get a longer table or a bench or something where I can fit her computer off to the left of my computer, plus my computer and all my stuff over here. And then I'll have the microphone probably sat between the two computers, or at least close to it. And then my wife, I'm going to force her into actually doing the weekly series that she's supposed to do, because right now it's a big hassle having to move the mic over there, change a bunch of settings over here, record the audio on this side, record the video over there, and then put them all together. For her 25-minute video, it took me over an hour, I think almost over 2 hours to get everything done and synced up right. Then all the settings were off and everything else. Anyway, once I do that, I'm going to put all that stuff together. I'll be able to just have her record directly that way. I'm also looking to get a video capture card, and what I plan to do with that is record everything on the other computer. She doesn't use the computer much. I'm going to record everything on the other computer, play it on this computer. It will improve performance, everything. My computer will run better, smoother. I can do rendering and editing on the computer right next to me, and it's just going to make everything a million times better, a million times more streamlined and easier to do. And I can record something, start it saving or editing or whatever the case is, or rendering, and then I can continue to actually do recordings as opposed to having to wait and all the other stuff. So like I said, I plan to spend money. I plan to improve everything. I'm planning to definitely work at this and do everything I can to make this work. So I'm not taking a step back. I'm not trying to distance myself saying, oh, we only have a year, I don't think it's going to work. I'm feeling optimistic. I'm going all in, and we're gonna do this, guys. We're gonna do this. All right, that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to do a quick recap of everything, just real brief, hopefully. And I hope that my microphone and my webcam are playing nice together and there's audio still. And I know I can get off on a tangent and everything else. And I apologize. I will be doing some editing and everything else, so you'll see some skips and cuts and everything. But hopefully it all comes together pretty nicely. So the things that I want to really hammer home or point out is I do have a new focus. I am trying very hard to finish series. That's kind of the goal moving forward. Finish things that are open, giving closure to anything that's not, or anything moving forward. Like if I'm like, oh, I'm never going to play, I don't know, let's just say Battle Chasers Night War again. I am, but say I wasn't. The next episode I would post, I would say, all right, guys and gals, this is going to be the last episode of Battle Chasers Night War. I'm going to give you guys an episode here, but, or say this was a dead series that I haven't played. Say this was Lords of Shulama and I didn't want to come back to it. I'd say, all right, guys, this is Lords of Shulama. This is the last episode. I apologize. I tried, but I played myself into a corner, or it's just not relevant anymore. Whatever the case is, whatever reasoning behind it, and this is going to be the end of the series. That way you guys will know that when a series is over, when I'm not going to continue on with it. On top of that, any of the new content that's going to come in, or at least most of the new content coming in until I start finishing off some series, is going to be first look videos, first look mini-series, something small that I can do with either one-off video or like a 1 to 5 episode thing, and then put it away. And then down the road, say I'm like, I really wanted to play that game. I never got a chance to. I only did a first look video. I have an open slot in my, schedule. I'm going to throw that in there and start playing it. So if you see a first look video, it may become a series later down the road. But either way, there's going to be closure. You guys will know what's happening, hopefully, moving forward. That being said, I'm just going to run through a bunch of stuff that we're doing now and a bunch of stuff that I am going to return back to. So Sword Coast Legends is definitely going to be finished. Elix is hopefully going to be finished. It's the two primary focuses right now, Battle Chasers Night War. Fallen Enchantress through the Triple P series will be played more frequently. Battle Chasers Night War every other day. The Triple P series, a.k.a. Fallen Enchantress, Monday through Friday. First look videos will be coming out when and where they can. Eventually, I'll be returning to Pillars of Eternity, Tyranny, Torment, Tides of Numenera, Tales of Berseria, Lords of Shulama, Expeditions Viking, Children of Zodiarcs, Regalia of Men and Monarchs, Everspace, and the Ease series. Look for more episodes of Dot Hack, GU, Last Recode on the weekends and maybe throughout the week. Lost Dimension will also be making some cool appearances, I dare say, along with Age of Fear 3, The Legend, Shining Force, and of course the HOM series. XCOM 2 and Battle Brothers will both be returning at some point, so don't freak out, don't fret, they will come back. I'm not sure when, but they will. On top of that, Dark Souls 2, I said that really weird, Dark Souls 2 will be returning as well. It's another one of my horribly low-rated videos. Same thing with Dark Souls 1. It was really, not low-rated, but just low-viewed. But I do plan to finish that. It may affect whether or not I play Dark Souls 3 right away, or if at all, or if I look for something like Neo or any of the other Souls-like games that have come out. But we'll see. I do enjoy playing them, so we'll see. We're going to pull away from doing as many multiplayer things. I'm going to try to keep it to 3 or less. So Dark and Light and Hammerwatch are both pretty much done at this point. Dark and Light, maybe 1 or 2 more episodes. So that leaves us with Total War Warhammer 2, Divinity Original Sin 2, and of course Vermintide. And then beyond that, the milestones that we hit were 4 years on YouTube, which is great. 5 million views and over 5,000 videos. We're pretty close to the 10K mark. And while we had a dip in numbers, they are starting to go on the rise again, which is great. And of course, I have the timer or time limit now on YouTube. So I'm going to put everything I have into it, put everything I can into it, and just go as quick and hard and fast and strong as I can and try to build this up and hopefully make my goals for continuing. All right, guys, and I guess I'll throw this in there because why not? Go ahead and support me on Patreon, guys. If you can, definitely go ahead and do that. It does help tremendously, and like I said, moving forward, this may be the way that the channel survives. I'm not saying, and I'm not trying to guilt anyone into it. If you can give and you want to, by all means, go ahead and do so. To my knowledge, Patreon is a perfectly upfront, and it's a good company. Everyone who has been supporting me hasn't had any issues or problems with it that I know of. They haven't said anything to me. I've talked to them. They seem to like it. I do get the vast majority of the money that does come my way. I think they take like 10% or something, which is fine. I mean, 90% of something is more than 100% of nothing. So a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like the fact that they take a cut. I want it to all go to you. Well, again, 90% of something is better than 100% of nothing. And I know some companies, and there's trades and things that go on, and like donations and places, where they take like 75%, or they take 25%, or even up to 50%. I believe like Twitch, for instance, a lot of people are like, you should stream more and get the subscriptions and stuff on Twitch so people can follow you and subscribe to you there. Yeah, but Twitch is $4.99. People get $2.50 for that. I mean, that's terrible. That's 50%. I would much rather somebody go on Patreon and give me $5 a month, and then I'm collecting $4.50 as opposed to collecting $2.50 through Twitch. That's just my thoughts. Anyway, folks, this wasn't supposed to be about Patreon. I was really, really tempted into not mentioning it at all. But again, moving forward and where the channel's at and with the time limit, I figure we're going to do that. I'm going to make a point to not mention it much moving forward. And any of the vlog videos, I'm going to try not to as well. I will make a separate Patreon video that I will put on Patreon for people to see. And yeah, we'll move from there. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much been my spiel. Hope you guys have enjoyed this, or at least it's going to be a talking point. You guys will converse with me. We'll have some dialogue back and forth. And yeah, if you guys haven't already done so, I don't know what's wrong with you, but you should subscribe to the channel and get me to that 10K mark. I hope you guys had fun. Like, I do this, like I said, the number one reason is to get eyes on games and to get people wanting to play it. But the other really close second is to, of course, entertain you guys and bring a smile to your face. And just, when I sit down, when I come home, I watch a few things on YouTube before I do stuff. I have like 10-15 minutes that I spend doing stuff for me, and then I hop in, I start doing a recording, which is also for me to a degree. But that's like my little bit of entertainment before I go and I do things. So, like, I get it. I understand there's an importance there. So I'm glad I'm able to fulfill that role for some of you. Anyway, folks, that's it. I will see you hopefully in 2 weeks. Again, 14 to 20 days. If you don't see me, come get me. Kidnap me and be like, you need to do a vlog video now. And I'm like, okay, why with the weird offensive accent? I don't know. It's crazy. Anyway, folks, until the very next Bumpy Blathering, which I do ramble and blather, and it's fine. My name is Bumpy McSquigums. Thank you so much for stopping by the Phreak Show, and I will see you later.